I think that what I've seen most in this past year, or past 2 years, I should say, that I haven't over the course of my 10-year career, I think that when a claim hits at this point, I think that a carrier takes very seriously understanding, even if there was only one pop in 5 years, kind of the political climate or, the litigation standpoint, where these claimants are going to get paid out and what it's going to cost the carrier to be profitable, even if they only have one claim.
Right.
So for example, if you have somebody paying $50,000, but there's a $200,000 reserve on a claim last year, you may, best case scenario, get a carrier saying, well, listen, if we take a claim, we know it's going to cost that. That's our starting point, let alone, we've seen that more and more often, that it almost becomes like trading dollars at this point because of the way that, some of these claims are being handled in court regarding some of the litigious environments.
Right, and then the better story that we can get, we can sometimes have our underwriter cap a claim, right? So if their claim was $500,000, but it's a shock loss, right, where something out of the ordinary happened, it's like we can get them to cap that claim at $200,000 in their model or $150,000 in their model to help us with the premium, right? So I think that goes back to telling the story, right, and the importance of having that story from our retail partners, which is something that we strive for.
And as well as the story, let's be realistic here. I think it's insurance. Claims are going to be paid out. I think that's why it's really important, when talking about HAB and talking about real estate, to be trading with the right partners. And I think that's kind of a shout out to our carriers that we're only working with guys who we trust to handle these claims with the utmost, obviously, professionalism, importance, putting the carrier and the insured first, making sure they're fighting these claims and not just signing on the dotted line, because settling these claims really only makes for more issues for the insured going forward as opposed to fighting them. And, I'm proud that we work with, obviously quite a few, way too many carriers to give individual shout outs to, but here in New York, we've got, 3 to 5 guys who are really considered the best in what they do.
Right.
And actually these guys do work outside of New York as well, so I don't want to, obviously we're a little biased as we sit here in the city, but I think that those players are they're a huge part of what we do and who make us who we are.
Right, right, and you brought up a great point, right? We trust our underwriters, but it's important, right?
Best in the biz.
Our underwriters trust us based off of prior experience.
Doesn't exist without that.
Right, based off of how well we put together our submissions, based off of how we break down the information, because we know what our underwriters need, right?
Yeah.
Like we did that whole practice a couple years ago, figuring out, because every carrier is different, right? It's like some need historicals, some need 8 years of loss runs, some need 5 years of loss runs, right? So it's like we tailor our submissions to the specific carrier.
Agreed.
And they know when it comes in from us, right? It's like that submission, their stack of submissions could be this high, right? And ours is going right to the top because they know what kind of product we're delivering to them.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately the power of the Jencap platform, the collaborative work and putting our best foot forward regardless of the product line, property, casualty, umbrella, you name it. We've kind of got a team of people here who are willing to put their heads together and get it done.
That's right, better together.